You didn't answer the question.
There's a difference between not answering and you not liking the answer.
Well, maybe you should give better answers.
Maybe you should ask better questions.
You know, I don't think you're taking this investigation seriously, Mr. Pearson.
Dr. Pearson.
Oh, well, Doctor. You know, your team nearly caused an international incident.
Nearly. Look, am I under arrest?
Do I look like the police?
Then can I go?
No. No, because to this point you have yet to explain any of what happened.
I'm not sure anyone could explain what went on.
Oh, but you expect us to believe
I'll
that.
believe whatever you want.
You're being evasive. Again. Now look, just tell us what happened. It should be easy to remember. You were there!
I got this, Agent Campbell.
Director, it's just about fun.
What? Ask the same question for the 5th time? Please, we can all use a break from that line of questioning. Would you agree, Dr. Pearson?
Oh, absolutely.
You see? All good here. Go and monitor the interviews with the others.
Yes, sir.
The others?
Well, sure. You didn't think we were going to take your word as fact in this investigation, did you?
You're just wasting your time. They won't tell you anything different than I do. They can't.
Perspective is a funny thing. We'll take our chances. Is there anything I can get you, Dr. Pearson?
How about a release?
I'm sure that will come. Eventually. Telescopes, climate data, and this missing journal. Where to start? How about at the beginning?
You've already got all that.
Yes, you're an astrophysicist. A rather highly regarded one. For the most part. Working for the last couple of years at McNichol Station in Antarctica. Jeez, what's that like? I mean, I can't even imagine. The cold, all that snow.
It hardly ever snows.
But I thought
all that snow, Antarctica's been there, is probably the driest place on the planet. The conditions aren't optimal for snow.
Every picture I've seen, there's snow.
That snow has been there for decades. There's no reasonable chance for it to ever melt, so it just blows around.
Still, despite all the elements, I'm guessing the real challenge of working in Antarctica isn't so much physical, it's mental, right? You're isolated, no family, no friends.
No local target. Alright, you want to know what it's like? Down there, you are stripped of all distractions, which is great for staying focused on your work, in the quiet moments, in the long, sometimes endless, quiet moments. You're ultimately forced to wonder what our role in the universe really is. It's an experience that could change a man.
Did it change Dr. Pike? I mean, he had been there, what, 5 years? Station manager? Seems like an unusual place for a young man with a family to stake one's claim, don't you think?
Pike always said, we all end up where we're supposed to.
But why the extended stay?
The work wasn't done.
Ah, the work, good. I'm glad you brought that up. I've got to be honest, there's so much technical mumbo-jumbo in these reports. I don't even know what it means half the time. You've got all kinds of research going on down there. Botany, geology, glaciology?
The study of ice.
Were you involved in any of that research?
No, that was Molly's expertise.
Dr. Harrison, that is.
I see. And what is your specialty, Dr. Pearson?
Observational cosmology.
Okay, I'm not even going to pretend to know
The
what that
search
means.
for the origins of life.
Beginnings of our universe.
Ambitious. So that would mean you were mostly occupied with the telescopes on the base, correct?
Daily.
Alright, I gotta ask. Couldn't you look for all that stuff at your local planetarium? Or the comfort of your own backyard? You should see the size of the telescope my stepson got at Brookstone.
Antarctica's view of the stars is pristine. There's little in the way of interference, atmospheric noise, no radiation, no dust. It's the closest you can get to space and still be on the ground.
Huh. And that would explain why the telescopes are positioned away from the rest of the facility in the region called the The dark sector. Ooh. I'm sorry, that sounds like something out of a Steven Seagal movie.
I'm glad you're enjoying this.
Oh, no. You misunderstand my intentions, Dr. Pearson. I find your work fascinating. I happen to have a deep respect for what scientists do. In many ways, you are the last of the pioneers of this world.
Engineers.
I'm sorry?
Scientists dream about doing good things. Engineers do them.
So, did you find what you were looking for up there? Signs of life? Little green men?
Look, as much as you'd like it to be, this wasn't about aliens. This was something bigger. This was about a quest for discovery.
And what did you discover, Dr. Pearson? I don't know, maybe 5 years has started to take its toll on Dr. Pike. On the whole team, even. I mean, let's face it, communications coming from the base were erratic. Incomplete reports, unexplained gaps in the flow of information, inconsistencies, questionable decision-making, outright mistakes.
Because it's not like the government ever cocks up anything.
All right. Dr. Curtis Pearson, acclaimed scientist and part-time conspiracy theorist. Yes, you have quite the reputation. You know what I've found to be true about all conspiracy theorists?
What's that?
They all tell fascinating stories.
So
tell me a story.
I'm tired of telling it. No one listens.
Well, someone different is listening now.
I decided to volunteer as a winter over. For a stretch of 6 to 8 months each year, Antarctica is too cold for any flights into the base. From the time the last plane flies out in February until the next plane lands, sometime in the fall.
Jesus, you're stranded.
That's right. No supply runs, no fresh food, and skeleton crew. Pared down from 1,000 or so to just 20 or 30 across several buildings. Just enough to maintain the facility and keep the projects running. So, as you might expect in conditions like that, things like teamwork and routine, even fun distractions, become a lifeline of day-to-day sanity. That all changed when he arrived.
Well,
Wait, which one is that again?
it's panel 52.
Anything?
No, still non-responsive.
This has got to be the most temperamental telescope ever.
Damn it, what are we missing?
I don't know. I can't concentrate. It's too quiet in here.
So now what?
Jill, go check the perimeter, will you? Make sure no cables have come loose.
You want me to go out in this wind? Seriously?
Yeah. Take Baker with you.
Wait, what?
Protocol. Buddy system.
Outrider more smooth. Outrider more smooth. Coming more smooth.
Horsewoods here. Hey, you, Smitty?
About to touch down, my friend. Finally.
Welcoming committee's on standby.
Terrific. Listen, temperatures are dropping too fast. Can't have the retractable skis freeze up on me. Tell the boss man it's going to be a hit and run. Drop off the cargo and passenger, then get the hell out of here.
Understood. Happy landings, Outrider. Coffee's on and hot.
Copy that.
Sorry, I was in a zone.
How come whenever you're in a zone, you feel the urge to turn it up to 11?
I can't help it. You know what, I like to think I have my own theme music, especially when I'm working. Just sounds better when it's blaring.
For you, whereas some of us just prefer quiet.
Well, if quiet's what you want, well, if an SHIT, turn to that soon. Last plane out was leaving early.
Of the storm?
Locked on timetables, but moved up.
Well, where's Marcus?
Where else? Every day this week.
I guess he figures if he can reboot that decommissioned telescope on the other side of the complex, then losing this one's not going to matter so much. Have we lost this one?
Not if I have anything to say about it. Hand me those pliers. Thank you. Is that your climate data there?
Yep. Latest calculations. We are close, Curtis. I can feel it.
And it's usually when the ice breaks beneath you.
No. This is different. We might be on the verge of something big.
Such as?
Proof.
Proof. There's no such thing. Not when it comes to climate change. People are too divided by it.
No. This is different. They cannot deny this. We're not talking about years of satellite photos here. We are talking about almost a pure snapshot of millions of years of climate change right there in the ice, undeniable.
Screwdriver. Thank you. You know what I think?
What?
I think maybe you discovered something bigger than even that.
Yeah, like?
The lost city of Atlantis!
Shut up.
It's a common theory. Plenty of historians have posited the Antarctic as a viable location.
For a civilization that may not have even existed to begin with, it's ridiculous. Curtis, you are smarter than half the PhDs on the planet. I don't understand why you bother with all this conspiracy jazz.
For the same reason you give magazine interviews with unsubstantiated claims. It's who we are. We need to believe.
Belief. Yeah. This is not about belief. Science is truth, and truth is freedom.
Freedom? Ha!
The EPA has already removed all mention of climate change from their website. As far as they're concerned, it doesn't even exist. So we have to act now.
Yeah, well, feel free to tell the boss that.
I'm still sore.
Hell yeah, he broke his favorite pencil. Twice. You know he isn't big on public premature announcements?
I can handle him. I have been for years.
Yeah, well, just don't get me caught in the crossfire, huh? It's always the innocent bystander who gets cut down in a hail of bullets.
You are no innocent.
Ouch.
So, any luck?
The only thing worse than one non-functioning billion-dollar telescope is two non-functioning billion-dollar telescopes. They're going to shut us down.
Aren't you being a little dramatic?
Am I? Look, they've already started to cut grant funding. I mean, if we can't fix this, then what incentive do they have to extend ours? It's just a matter of time.
Time will always be our friend.
Cold? How cold? Like paddington balls? Or cold from my ex's frozen heart?
Minus 32, stiff wind.
Sounds like Diane, all right.
You know, if you need any help out
I
there,
got it covered.
I don't understand why you get to break protocol and head out to the shed alone all the time.
I said I've got it covered.
Well, you look like like shit. Worse than last week.
What's this?
The climate data.
Oh,
You're not even gonna look at it.
not now, Mom. Feels like my lungs are collapsing every time I go outside.
I think you'll find that the summations are conclusive, as I conveyed to you more than a month ago. I say, we write up a press release. In findings released to the American Science Journal on Monday, the McNichol Station in Antarctica definitively proved that climate change not only has been happening for centuries, but has increased exponentially over the last 30 years, improving upon an ice analysis method similar to measuring the rings of a tree to determine its age. Dr. Molly Harrison, okay, a little bit wordy, but we can get someone to write it better.
Uh-huh.
Where are you going?
Take a nap.
Marcus, I'm releasing my findings with or without your approval.
Would be the first time.
This is about that interview, right? You're upset?
You think? Hey, Lord knows I try to stay out of your work, Maul, I do. Then you had to go all rogue Al Gore on me, shooting your mouth off to some science magazine. Now we got some climatology expert coming down here.
So?
So? We don't need somebody sniffing around, putting everything we do under the microscope.
You're jealous. Aren't you? Yep, that's what it is. My department is the only one making any progress here, and that reflects poorly on you. You don't want me to be right.
No, Maul. I don't want you to be wrong.
I'm not, and you'll see.
Curtis, what is this?
Oh, that? It's, alright, it's an online forum theorizing what happened in Malaysia Air Flight 370.
Let me guess. Bermuda Triangle.
You scoff, I get it. Now see, I think electronic hijacking is the most likely hypothesis.
Curtis, we only have a few hours of internet use a day down here. Please don't waste it on stuff like this.
I think the Russians are involved.
The Russians?
What? They've been far more aggressive the last year or so, and that investigation was terminated with no resolution. I wouldn't be surprised if they have their sights set on us, too.
All the way down here. What would Russia want with us?
Land! You know they're still upset we conned them out of Alaska.
This is Antarctica, though. No one lays claim to Antarctica.
Sure.
But if they just get rid of it.
Just like everybody else. You don't want to see what's right in front of you. I know.
Know what?
Come on. You can't tell me you don't buy into some of these theories. I know you. Anyone who can accept the plausibility of all kinds of unexplained phenomena shouldn't be so dismissive.
Curtis, that's science. What you're talking about is speculation.
That's the thing. In the absence of knowledge, in the darkness, that's where speculation flourishes.
Show me the last telemetry readings, will you, please?
Fine. One of these days, I'm gonna be right. You have trust issues. You're hovering.
I don't hover!
You're so close I can count your nose hairs. That's how you scare off poor Hewitt, you know.
Yeah, that was a shame. Just trying to scare off you.
I better not do that to his replacement, or I'll be
What?
Dr. Pike?
Hey!
Where's the new guy?
How's it going? He's at processing.
Right. Gotta check for the plate.
That's a full list of supplies, Doc. Everything you ordered should get you ready for the summer.
Winter, Smitty. Season's reversed down here, remember?
Yeah. How do you tell the difference?
Believe me, you can tell the difference between 20 below and 50 below.
Okay. Well, cold is cold in my book. Hey, listen, this new guy of yours, he's a bit of a weird guy if you ask me. Talk to himself, don't fly down.
Probably trying to talk himself out of coming here.
Well, 6 months here will test the mettle of even the most resilient of men.
Is that why the last guy left?
Hewitt? Nah, he was Jaffa.
So, Jaffa.
Jaffa, what's that?
Just another fucking academic.
You holy shit, got a weird sense of humor. This guy brought a record player with him.
Did you say a record player?
Yeah, a portable record player. This thing is about this high.
Whoa, whoa, What is this, a joke?
No, no joke, sir.
This place is not for the faint of heart, okay? It's desolate and lonely. Coping is very fucking difficult here, okay? And you bring me this guy?
Hey, I don't pick them, I just deliver them.
Who is it?
Hello, son. Okay. Well, anybody who's on a winter road better get on board pronto.
Oh, you don't want to stay, Smitty? Tonight's the traditional first night of winter viewing of John Carpenter's It's a Thing on Betamax.
That's pretty tempting. We gotta get ahead of this storm. Once we're done refueling, stowing your trash, we're out of here. You? Wheels up in 1300.
Here, let me take those off your hands. Careful. I'll treat her like a baby. So, how was your trip down?
I flew in on a plane. A giant iron fortress. I had envisioned my arrival would be by submarine, more of an ice station zebra surfacing. Without the Russians, of course.
Of course. Doors? Bowie? Van Morrison? He's got some good stuff.
Correction. Great stuff. Certainly not like that infernal noise your generation gobbles up by the gigabyte.
Alrighty. Well, welcome to McNichol Station, Professor Sawyer. I'm Curtis Pearson.
No. You look more like a Joby.
I don't even know what that...
Yes, I will call you Joby.
I'd rather you... Well, whatever. We can straighten that out later. It's an honor, sir, truly.
You know me?
I know of you, the famous Arthur Sawyer, former NASA scientist, visionary in, well, any number of fields, really. But, I didn't... I mean... Mike, I thought you said your dad was dead.
You told them I was dead? I assure you I'm very much alive. You want to punch me?
No! What are you doing here?
Ah, there it is. That's the voice of my sweet boy. Pike. You took your mother's name. You neglected to mention that in your last email. Of course, that was when you were 11. No matter. We're together again, finally.
I don't know how you pulled this off,
Quite simple,
but you
really.
were not the person we
Email,
expected.
phone call.
Had I known they were going to
Wasn't
send
difficult.
you down here, I never would have approved it.
I think maybe I'll go.
Stay where you are.
Creepy.
I find when you want something badly enough, there's always a way. Don't you agree?
I can't believe you orchestrated this assignment just that you could come down here.
I can assure you, I'm not here to fulfill any reunion fantasies. That's just a happy coincidence.
Then why are you here?
To assist in this base's otherwise failing endeavors. I imagine someone thought I would see something that you haven't.
Smitty, come back, Smitty! Smitty! Damn it!
What's up, Chief?
I'm grabbing Smitty before he can take off. He's not staying here.
Well, just give me a chance.
Don't. Do me a favor. Keep an eye on him, will you?
What could he possibly do?
Just do it! And don't let him touch anything!
Hey, stop touching the glass and stuff. I don't need you making things worse than they already are.
I can hardly break that which is already broken.
What makes you think it's already broken?
Well, the readings are all off, aren't they?
Yeah? Now how could you tell that just by looking at it?
Because it's based on my designs.
Now, I've read all the technical specs. I don't remember your name ever being associated with this telescope.
Don't believe everything you read.
You're here to shut us down, aren't you?
Hardly. No. Why would I? Your work here embraces the very notion of possibility. Tell me, do you believe in what may be out there?
What I believe and what I can prove may be two different things.
Verifiable proof. Mark of a good scientist. All the more reason we do everything we can to fix this thing and confirm those beliefs. To validate all the hard work that you've done, to authenticate the infinite possibilities.
And how do we do that?
Well, for starters, if you have any sway around here, convince my son to let me stay. It is the only way, Joby.
My name is Curtis, and I thought you were here to check on our climate research, not fix the telescope.
I can do both, simultaneously if I must.
There goes the Herc. Sounds like we'll be staying here for the next 6 months after all, Professor.
It won't take me that long. Not with your help, Joby.
It's Curtis.
Of course.
Help with what?
There's far more going on down here than any of you realize.
That's awfully cryptic. You're speaking my language. Okay, lay it on me.
Not now. But when the time comes, I will need your help.
Any other time, Smitty would dodder around here telling us about the time he landed a twin engine on the Florida interstate. But no, not today. Today, a little storm scares him off.
It's not that little.
Son, you just
Don't call me that. I don't want to hear, well, basically anything you have to say, okay? But just radio Smitty and tell him to turn around.
You know they're not going to do a boomerang just because you want them to.
Well, then we'll call Washington on the satellite phone and we'll schedule another flight.
We're not due for another flight until at least the fall. You know that too. Besides, it's not like it's an emergency.
You don't get it, though. He is an emergency. I'm not going to spend the next 6 months living down here with that man.
You have no choice now.
I didn't mean to upset you, son.
Don't call me that. As far as I'm concerned, you relinquished all rights to the words father and son when you left us.
I understand. Doctor, is it? I'm not entirely sure what to call it. If it was to communicate at all, I suggest we find some sort of accord.
No, as far as I'm concerned, you can sit in your quarters and theorize all you want until Smitty comes back. 6 months. What possibly do here for 6 months?
Maybe he could work on the telescope.
That was a rhetorical question.
Well, I didn't major in rhetoricals. He thinks we could use the help, you know?
What did he say to you?
Nothing, just that
You spoke to him?
You said he couldn't touch anything, not he couldn't speak.
Oh.
He thinks he can fix it.
I have experience in astronomy, as you know.
Don't.
Look, Doc, I appreciate the history here between you two. I do. I don't know the details, and I'm not sure I want to. But your dad, if Professor Sawyer thinks there's a possibility that he could fix the old girl, I'm just saying, with all we're trying to do, could you just dismiss his ideas because of who he is? Besides, he can hardly do worse than we have.
That's what he always does. He makes things worse.
For us or for you? Listen, there may be something bigger at foot anyway.
What are you talking about?
He said there's far more going on down here than we realize. Those were his exact words.
Oh, brother, we got a live one.
That's not fair.
Look, I don't trust him, Curtis, and you shouldn't either.
But what if he's right?
He's not right.
Should we at least hear what
He's not right, okay? He's never right. What is this? Babe, did you get it back online again? What did you do?
Oh, no, not me.
It's not fixed. Not entirely, but we are one step closer. I defer to your expertise on the matter, Doctor.
Can you fix it? Completely, I mean.
In theory.
I don't want theories, I want results.
I'll do my best.
All right. You can stay.
That's big of you, Doc. You couldn't leave now, even if you wanted to.
If left to my own devices, I think I could probably leave.
There's not a chance on God's green earth I'm letting you work on that thing unsupervised.
Well, I must say I've always wanted to work with you, so now I'll have my...
You're not going to work with me. No, you'll assist Curtis. He's more than capable. And he'll be shadowing your every move, reporting back to me on everything you do.
Understood.
You know, just one... I get the brass being dissatisfied with our progress. So am I. But they could have found any number of experts from Caltech or MIT alone just as qualified. Why you?
Because I invited him.
Astonishing.
Hey, Dad.
Pretty great, right? Doesn't it just blow your mind?
Your use of the word blow is accurate. No, not in the sense you're referring. It's an abomination.
What?
In order to fit all of that music on such a tiny device, the files must be compressed. So, by its very nature, that process destroys the very soul of everything. It's a mess.
Ah, you're crazy, old man.
Joby, my good man. Music should act as a fertilizer, a stimulant for creative thinking. Look, same album, okay? Now, stop shuffling through that stifling auditory landscape of yours and spend 3 good minutes listening. Just listen.
That song like 1,000 times. Never heard that part before. And is that a mandolin?
A revelation, isn't it?
You were so right!
Remember this day, I have delivered you.
What's going on here?
Oh, just, you know, couple of dudes hanging out, listening to some tunes, that's all.
What, no snacks? I've warned you not to get too close to him.
He can make up his own mind whether I'm an emissary of the devil, as I'm sure you assert.
You can't even begin to know what I think.
Then tell me. I want to know, I truly do. I've done everything you've asked thus far. I've done my work, I've kept to myself. Has that not earned me some collateral?
Collateral? For what?
A conversation? Hey, you need to talk to me sometime.
Don't call me that.
Well, you are my son, whether I call you that or not.
You have anything to tell me about the telescope?
Nothing definitive at this time.
Well, sounds like you have more work to do then, huh?
My dear Joby, I hereby grant you my permission.
I'm sorry?
You may listen to my albums whenever you want. Part of your re-education. I only ask one thing.
What's that?
These records are like memories. Each belongs in its own place, just so, for easy recall later on.
You're never gonna get through to him like that.
Like what?
As if he's still the little boy you once knew. Science. Appeal to the scientist in Pike. It's the only thing he still can't turn his back on. Besides, the whole emotion thing, you suck at it. Now, I'm over here for some weather samples, and there doesn't seem to be a single person here to buddy up with. So, care to join me?
one more instance of you not checking with me first. You know, we may be family and all, but I'm still in charge here.
A point of which you never fail to remind me. What do you want me to say? I genuinely thought he could help.
He will disappoint you, okay? He always does.
Oh, here we go again. You really want to do this?
Do what?
Have another pissing contest over whose pain is worse?
Look, you were too young, okay? You don't know.
Hey, I never held a grudge because I never judged you because you held this grudge all of these years. So don't judge me because I haven't. And this is not about all of that stuff anyway. This is about my data.
Oh, it is it? Well, this is truly about your work, truly, then answer me this. You could have gotten anyone. You could have gotten Jacobs from NYU or Parsons over at... I could literally name half a dozen other experts just as qualified as he is. Why him and why now? Let me know when you come up with an answer for that, huh?
Relax, Joby. I just want to grab my journal. You have your mother's eyes. I'm sorry. I understand that we're not supposed to communicate directly with one another.
Well, my big brother's been trying to control me for years, but I can think for myself.
An admirable quality.
Sorry, I didn't really think I was going to get the chance to talk to you, and I don't know what to say.
The last time I laid eyes on you in person, you were still in diapers. You had this penchant for digging into everything. The cookie jar, the linen closet, my sock drawer. You were inquisitive even then. No wonder you followed in the family business. Science, the pursuit of truth.
Is that what you've got in your notebook there? The truth?
In theory.
Maybe you could look at my notes then. I would love for you to weigh in on this climate data. I really think that this...
I was just about to help Joby with some weather readings.
I'm sorry. Who?
Your colleague, the scruffy man with the overinflated sense of musical taste.
You must mean Curtis.
That is what he keeps telling me.
Yeah.
I'm honored you asked. I'm curious. You don't seem to share your brother's anger towards me.
I didn't experience what he did. Or he has this, this blackness in his heart. For me, there's just this hole.
You don't blame me?
I don't know you. But I'd like to change that.
So is it fair to say that, what's the problem?
I wasn't in the room for half that stuff. How could you possibly know all that?
I'm merely filling in the gaps in your story with the testimony of the others.
But why does any of that personal stuff matter? I'm telling you what happened.
We need to know not only what everyone was doing, but why they were doing it. How the team interacted is just as important as what may have happened in building number 2. What you call the shed? Now, what were you...
Please, no more. Tired of thinking about it. Tired of reliving it. Just tired.
What did you miss most about being there? Come on, one thing.
I miss milk. I miss real milk. All the milk down there is powdered.
Can we get some fresh milk in here for Dr. Pearson? So, from what I've heard so far, it seems like a stressful environment to begin with. So, I understand that...
Stressful? Your commute is 15 minutes, by foot. You don't have to carry around keys. You don't have to carry around money.
If it's so carefree, then why all the rules? I mean, 2-minute showers twice a week? That seems over the top.
You adapt. Look, when you're cut off from everything like that, you need something to hold it all together. Without rules, it would be chaos. What do you want to know?
Tell me more about this Professor Sawyer.
So he was right. There was something slightly off about him. The way he spoke, his mannerisms. But the man knew his stuff. We were making progress in the telescope, and what's more,
You liked him. You spent all that time working side by side with him. Suddenly didn't seem so strange. What was the dynamic like in the lab once he settled in?
awkward. Constantly awkward. Every time Sawyer would try to engage him or Molly, Pike would just shut that shit down every chance he got.
That's harsh, considering she invited him.
Can you blame him? I mean, the man left when Pike was 10 years old and Molly was still a baby. He must have thought they got away from all that.
We all carry our past with us, no matter where we go. So what happened next? Dr. Pearson? Curtis?
Worried about an increased amount of chatter over Russian activity. Tensions are definitely heightened back home. We'll be out of satellite range for longer stretches this week, so be aware. And we received another email from the grammar school in New Jersey requesting a Skype call for their science class. We've put them off 3 times already.
All right, put them on the calendar. What?
Have you seen your dad?
Curtis?
He was supposed to run a test on the telescope over 2 hours ago, but he's disappeared.
Baker?
What? Don't look at me. It wasn't my turn to watch him.
Baker?
Fine, I'll check over at the main house.
Don't bother. We already called over there. Nothing.
Never mind. I found him.
Paraphrase, Linus von Pelt, you cannot autograph a snowball in Antarctica. The snow is much too dry.
Wait, what are you on vacation now? Just walking around?
Really?
I was simply flying a balloon to test the effect of the katabatic winds close up.
Why a balloon?
I didn't have a kite.
We've been waiting for you.
Oh, I had to clear my head before tackling our old friend there. Did you know that if you focus on a fixed point in the sky down here, you can virtually see the Milky Way? With all there is to marvel at in this world, I often think if given the choice, why not look up? Well, let me see what I can do.
You shouldn't be out there by yourself, really.
Yeah, that's breach of protocol.
Protocol, protocol. Always the rules with you. The process of discovery is not formulated by following the rules, but often by breaking them. Besides, I'm perfectly capable of walking across the compound without a chaperone.
Yeah, that's what Marty Temple thought too. He was the first friend that I made down here.
And what happened to him?
He's slotted. You wouldn't know it to look at it, but Antarctica is one giant hazard. The wind blows the snow so deceptively that it can cover up crevices. They're like snow bridges, hiding cracks in the snow and the ice, sometimes 50 feet deep or more. You don't realize that you're crossing a snow bridge until you get to the middle of it, which is the weakest part. There's no way that Marty could have known. That has got to be one of the worst ways to go. You pick up enough speed on your way down because your fall is so deep, and then you just cork in.
Cork in?
Your body gets wedged into the smallest space at the bottom of the crevice.
Yeah, the point is that if you manage by sheer luck to not crack your skull on the way down, that you are still alive when you realize that you are being suspended by your pelvis or your broken rib cage, and then every second after that is a moment of extreme danger and excruciating pain, because if you try to wiggle your way down, you could end up in an unexpected lake where you're going to freeze to death. And your only way up is going to be via rope, but someone has to be with you for that, and they're most likely going to be pulling you up in the pitch black. That's why we always bring a buddy along if we do anything around here. Or we really should.
Aha! Did you fix it?
In theory?
It's what you said last week.
Confound it. You can't just skip steps. There's a process. You think you know that by now.
Well,
She's humming along at full capacity, Captain! Who was that masked man?
You did it, and relatively quickly, too.
That is, how do you say, how I roll.
This calls for a toast. Good execution. Even yeah.
well done, Arthur.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The search for intelligent life is, simply put, part of human nature. Professor Sawyer for bringing us one step closer to making contact.
Cheers.
Egészségedre.
What?
Cheers in Hungarian.
You speak Hungarian.
Must have picked it up from my days in Budapest, working on improvements to laser therapy.
Well, here, at the bottom of the world, we just say congratulations.
Laser therapy.
So I was desperate to work on something that would take away people's pain.
Physical pain, no doubt.
All right. That's all well and good, Professor. But what I want to know is just how did you do it? I mean, admitting anyone is smarter than me doesn't come easy. So how'd you fix this mother?
When I was a child, Joby, I had one of those boxes of 64 Crayola crayons.
Oh, the one with the sharpener in the back?
Precisely. I was always partial to periwinkle. What was your favorite color?
I didn't have one. I used a computer to color things.
So it's come down to this. The decline of the simple coloring book.
What does that have to do with...
Everything today is on a damn screen. Nobody touches anything anymore. They have no tactile skills, no problem-solving abilities. What do they do when life's next knee in the grapes comes along? They'll look to zeros and ones to provide an answer.
I don't think you answered his question, Arthur.
Maybe you can answer mine. Have you finished looking at my data?
I have not. What is this incessant hastiness that's perpetrated my children? I don't understand. Patience. Science must, above all else, be precise.
But I need you to verify my findings.
And I will, I assure you, if and when the time is right.
If you don't believe me or my work or...
My dear girl, do you know how many times I think I've defined dark matter? Learned how to reverse the clock, solved string theory, only to be stymied again?
I need you to believe me.
Believing it doesn't make it so. You cannot afford to overlook anything. For the work's sake and for your own. So we proceed in earnest, but we must proceed with caution.
What about your time at Coratech, Arthur?
The quantum physics company?
I was a consultant there for 3 years, but it was largely uneventful. A pit stop on the road of life.
Now, that's not the entire truth now, is it? Tell them about the young research assistant. The one who had that progressive theory for quantum entanglement, and how he came to you for help to further his research. And how you torpedoed his arguments almost immediately.
Is that true?
Sounds worse than it was.
You cut that kid loose, then walked away. I'm curious, which was that? Caution or earnest?
Is that what you're going to do with me and my research?
You don't understand. That company was meddling in concepts regarding the arrow of time with a level of impropriety that I couldn't justify it. I had to. Thank you for that, son.
So when do you plan on telling her?
Telling her what?
That you have no plans on corroborating her findings.
It's not what you think. How did you find all that out? Coratech, the interns.
You ever hear of Google, Arthur? Part of public record. What are you smiling about?
You looked me up. Just when I thought you had no interest in your father, you cared enough to search online for him. You looked me up.
Of course I did. It's the only way to find out how not to become the man I didn't want to be.
So, is it fair to say that... What's the problem?
I wasn't in the room for half of that stuff. How could you possibly know all that?
I'm merely filling in the gaps of your story with the testimony of the others.
But why does any of that personal stuff matter? I'm telling you what happened.
We need to know not only what everyone was doing, but why they were doing it. How the team interacted is just as important as what may have happened in building number 2, which you call the shed. Now, what were you...
Please, no more. I'm tired of thinking about it, tired of reliving it, just tired.
What did you miss most about being there? Come on, one thing.
Milk. I missed real milk. All the milk down there is powdered.
Can we get some fresh milk in here for Dr. Pearson? You know, from what I've heard so far, it seemed like a stressful environment to begin with, so I understand.
Your commute is 15 minutes by foot. You don't have to carry around keys. You don't have to carry around money.
If it's so carefree, then why are the rules? I mean, 2-minute showers twice a week? That seems over the top.
You adapt. Look, when you're cut off from everything like that, you need something that holds it all together. Without rules, it would be chaos. All right, what do you want to know?
Tell me more about this Professor Sawyer.
Smitty was right. There was something slightly off about him. The way he spoke, his mannerisms. But the man knew his stuff. We're making progress in the telescope, and what's more,
You liked him. You spent all that time working side by side, and suddenly it didn't seem so strange. What was the dynamic like in the lab once he settled in?
Awkward. Constantly awkward. Every time Sawyer would try to engage him or Molly, Pike would just shut that shit down every chance he got.
That's harsh, considering she invited him.
Can you blame him? I mean, the man left when Pike was 10 years old and Molly was still a baby. He must have thought they'd gotten away from all that.
We all carry our past with us, no matter where we go. So what happened next? Dr. Pearson. Curtis.
What are you talking about? Have you heard the piano? You can't tell me that's not the heart of that song.
No. It's all about the guitar solo. Chicks dig the riffs. I'm telling you.
You two,
You're out of your mind.
you two need to find something else to talk about.
Hey, Professor, you want to get in on this? What's your favorite instrument?
I like wind chimes. I just wish they'd play a tune instead of improvising all the time.
Isn't that what you do? Improvise solutions to problems, think up new shit.
True. Music and science have much in common. There is a time to improvise, and a time to follow the notes.
What is it we can do in that thing? Is it some kind of talisman?
This is 30 years of scientific notes. Some that likely push the boundaries of modern science.
Then why keep it hidden all the time?
Propose something outside the norm that few can grasp and watch yourself get marginalized, vilified, persecuted. It has always been that way for great men of science. Galileo, Einstein, Turing.
Did he just call himself a genius?
My beloved wife gave me that record player. I know I can always find answers when I look there.
Ooh, can I see?
You want to be careful.
Relax. I'm not gonna. Just want to take a peek. I'm not gonna like steal your ideas or anything. Huh? It's interesting. A bit of a crude design, if you ask me.
It was 1977.
I could barely follow the train of thought.
Those pages aren't just filled with formulas and inventions. They're my thoughts and dreams as well. Ideas of a lifetime.
Like the record albums.
Exactly. It would take an act of God for me to part with them. Some of these observations date back to my earliest days at NASA.
Hey, Professor, there's something I've always wondered about.
Yes?
Oh, you worked at NASA for a while. Must have heard things. So tell me, straight up, was the moon landing a fake?
Fake?
Some people think it was fabricated.
Are you among them?
I'll admit it would be simple enough to film on a soundstage.
Hollywood magic was a much more innocent time. A time when the act of discovery inspired wonder instead of doubt and ridicule. Did you know that people stopped driving for the night and checked into hotels just to watch Neil Armstrong step off of that ladder? People were so desperate to believe in something.
Well,
Are you certain you can handle the truth?
yes, maybe.
It was real.
No fool.
Gloriously, fabulously real.
Huh. I guess I'm just hardwired to doubt anything without definitive proof. That's probably what makes me a good scientist, huh?
I don't know about that. But I know this. You are the most important kind of scientist, for you are curious. Keep asking questions, Joby. Molly, I was wondering if that is, what's the popular vernacular? Are we good?
We are. And I want to thank you, actually. You clarified more than a few things for me.
I'm so glad.
I decided to submit my research anyway to the National Science Foundation.
You did what?
As is.
No, I specifically told you.
I know what you said. I decided to be earnest.
Uh-oh. That was impulsive.
Professor, you're gonna want to take a look at this.
You are still very much the child exploring the cabinets in the house.
Hey! In case anyone's interested, we've got a system failure on the telescope here. Damn it.
Do not fear. It's likely one of the iridium modems. If you'll just point me in the direction of supply, I'll go fetch a replacement.
Oh yeah. Go to the second glacier, then hang left, and there's a Walmart just past the third igloo.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Igloos are traditionally associated with the Inuit up north.
We don't have a backup.
The old telescope.
You should be able to cannibalize it for parts.
Let's get going.
Whoa.
I know. Marcus was adamant about us not going alone.
No. I'm going with you. I have been dying to see what he's working on out there. Bigger? Yeah. Find the port, will ya? Oh, nice. Oh, great.
Thanks. Fine. So nothing bad ever happens to the assistant that gets left behind in all those movies.
Outside. It'd be insane to spend every day in that ice box.
What in the world?
What's in there?
I have no idea. It's translucent, whatever it is. Take a look.
No, this is all wrong. It's architecturally incorrect. The door only comes up a few feet. I mean, who would build?
Who cares? What is it?
It's a time portal.
Wait. For a second, I thought you said. Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, are you actually saying that this is a time travel?
In theory.
Hey, can anyone see what that says here? I don't recognize the language.
It's Arabic.
Is there any language you don't know? What does it say?
It says, the door of humility. It's a reference to the Church of the Nativity. The basilica rebuilt in Bethlehem to mark the location traditionally believed to be the birthplace of Jesus.
Rebuilt?
The original was destroyed, burned down in a fire, I believe. The Emperor Justinian built a replica some years later. The entryway was constructed in such a manner as a form of protection to prevent marauders from entering what was so obviously a sacred place on horseback. But it meant more than that. The door of humility was intended to be a reminder.
A reminder of what?
To bend one's knees. The road to victory is paved with humble submission to God, or so some believe.
What the hell are all you doing in here? Window shopping?
Searching for replacement parts, boss.
Look what we found. Some mysterious room that oddly enough is not on the usual tour. Marcus, Dad seems to think that this is some kind of...
Yes! It's a time portal. I didn't know what to do. It just appeared one day. I built the box to conceal it.
Conceal it from who?
I don't know, everyone?
We really need to work on your trust issues.
It's called plausible deniability, okay? You couldn't comment on something you knew
So let me
nothing
get this
about.
straight. So you've been coming out here every day by yourself, which is a breach of protocol, by the way, for this. But I can't submit very legitimate data to a reputable science magazine.
All right, I get that you're mad, okay?
I'm not just mad.
Well, I am. I mean, couldn't you have at least made it look like a TARDIS? I mean, come on, man. I asked for so little.
Look, I wanted to tell you all, I swear, okay? Especially that I saw that it worked. You know, that it works. I mean, I think it does.
You think so?
I stepped through it, and it was so quick, a matter of minutes, maybe.
And how was it?
It was intense. I saw Mom.
Did you interact with her?
There was no time. I mean, it literally felt like a blink, a fraction of a blink.
And since?
I haven't been able to get it to turn back on. It was just the one time.
How'd you turn it on the first time?
I didn't.
What? It called to you? What?
I know, it sounds crazy, but it sounds even crazier when I hear the words coming out of my mouth. But I'm sure it happened.
And I'm guessing you didn't inform HQ about it either, not we're just finding out.
I didn't even begin to know how. I mean, especially something so... I mean, I wanted to see what it really was first.
I feel like I've seen that thing before. In a B movie, maybe?
I want to go back.
Oh, whoa. Let's think things through first, huh?
Yeah. Yes, it could be alien in nature, health risk, 100 other unexplained things with unintended consequences we should really pump the brakes here about.
Yeah, listen to Jill. We don't know what we're getting ourselves into here.
I have to, okay, Bob? I have to.
I'm telling you, I've seen that thing before. Not in a dream, not in a comic book, in
this.
Gosh, that was eerily similar.
Dad, how is this possible?
When certain clandestine factions of the government sought to explore the concept of time travel, they enlisted people willing to operate on the fringes of acceptable science. I spent a good deal of time exploring the very notion.
In theory, of course, right?
In actuality, a series of experiments, failed though they may have been. We could do this together, as a team.
Marcus, you are not seriously considering this nonsense, are you?
It's no different than fixing the telescope. Study the science, develop a plan, and make it happen.
Don't do this.
We all end up where we're supposed to anyway. Pike to base, Pike to base. Baker, you there?
This is Baker. Go ahead.
Did your lights just flicker?
Twice. Nothing on radar. Could be the wind is kicked up.
Turning it on would be step one.
We're coming back. Over.
Copy that.
Well, let's get to work then.
Now what's this?
Oh, Molly! An origami penguin! I love it!
Merry Christmas.
That is so creative. Thank you.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get used to celebrating Christmas in July. It's just different, you know?
It really is. Sometimes I think back to Christmas when I was a kid. Lights, the smells, the whole family, the gifts.
where you'd go? If you could go back in time, I mean.
No, probably more like Lake Absagami.
Lake Absalwati.
Lake Absagami. My whole family used to go there every summer when I was a kid. So there'd be white, pristine beaches, clear crystal water. My mom would make picnic food, but I'd still sneak off to the hot dog stand that was always set up nearby. And listen, the playground had the best slide. They were simpler times.
I like your choice.
Thanks.
Well, all the weather instruments are working just fine. I don't get it.
Hey, Joe. Where would you go if you could go back in time?
That's easy. Natalie Garducci. I'd go back in time for her again and again.
Okay.
And again.
Okay. Yeah. What about you?
I don't know if we really should be talking about this.
Aw, come on. You brought it up.
Yeah, I guess. I've always had an affinity for the 1960s. I don't know. Maybe I was born out of the wrong time or something, you know? That whole idea of righting wrongs, fighting injustice.
That's the activist in you.
That is such a lame answer. Come on. You can't think of one thing.
Doesn't matter. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. Doc seems pretty set on going.
It's not his decision, so.
Couldn't find a single bottle of champagne in that crude kitchen of yours. I don't understand why.
Because the nearest liquor store is, 2,000 miles away?
Poor excuse for trading in on one of the finer things in life. I'm afraid I didn't get anyone anything.
Dad, it's fine. It's just, something that we do.
But there should at least be music.
Ooh,
Master Joby.
Holiday music. Holiday music.
Holiday music may be a tall task, young baker.
Who the hell keeps playing My Fair Lady?
Did you find any?
I don't know. There's so much music. I mean, nothing with a holiday theme. Hey, Professor, in all seriousness, were you ever into the whole drug scene, man?
Not at all. My classmates at university, now they dabbled. Although I do recall one incident in which one of them, what was his name? Jonathan Dulcie. He gave me something, a liquid refreshment of sorts. It contained an opiate, no doubt. The next thing you know, I lost my virginity.
Dad! Ew! You had to ask?
Here, let me take a look. I was limited in what I could bring down, but let's see. When in doubt. Also gives me an idea. My gift to you.
Why?
I missed the chance of your wedding. I missed out on so many.
Dad, I was thinking.
Hey, Doc! Where have you been? You missed Christmas.
Christmas is in December.
Party pooper! You were up all night again, staring at that thing, were you?
If I could only figure out what triggers it, maybe I could, I don't know.
Well, that's 5 nights in a row.
Just free. Might not turn on again for another 100 years. Like bloody Brigadoon.
Brigadoon?
Really? Have some culture?
We don't even know where that name comes from.
Like I said, alien, then you're talking alphabets made up of weird symbols and sounds and shit. How are you gonna decipher that?
I don't know.
You could spend a lifetime trying to figure out what turns that thing on. Why don't you just let it go?
Because every once in a while in science, you stumble onto something. Something unexpected. And it opens a door to a whole new world.
This time, literally.
I have to go back.
Well, you can count me out.
What? Why?
Because it's not normal.
Normal? Nothing we do is normal, but we do it anyway. Besides, we may have caught a big break this time. Speaking of which, Arthur, what are these markings here in the margin?
Just stray crayon. Pay them no mind. What can I say? You like the color outside the lines.
All right, fine. Let's just say it's possible, then tell me why. Why go back, Marcus?
Personal.
Oh, it's personal. That's not good enough.
Why not?
Because we're scientists. That's not why we do things. It's not like Curtis knows these extraterrestrials that he's been searching for.
Short of a crazy cousin or two.
And it's not like I have beachfront property that's going to be washed away by these rising sea levels, so...
Yeah, but you believe in your climate data research. Curtis believes there are beings out there somewhere. I have believed in the notion of time travel for over 20 years. Just never thought I'd have a chance to do something about it.
Fine. So we take our time and we figure out what we're getting ourselves into.
This can't wait, okay? The opportunity may never come again.
I don't understand why.
I don't understand why you don't. If anyone here has a reason to go back, it's you, Maul. You have virtually no memory of her. You don't remember the way she smelled, or the bad jokes she used to tell, or the way she'd run her fingernails across your tense shoulders after a rough day at school. I mean, wouldn't you want any of that?
I don't think that is how life is supposed to work, Marcus. You cannot just forge a relationship in a matter of minutes.
No. No, but maybe you can fix one.
Fix?
I'm going back!
What's there to fix?
I wonder if he actually saw her. Come on, I can't be the only one thinking it.
Joe.
I'm curious. You ever have one of those dreams that's way too vivid and feels so real that it shakes you up afterwards? That we all have?
So
that doesn't mean it actually happened. I'm just saying, I know we're used to pushing boundaries and thinking outside the box with everything we research down here, but sometimes the simplest explanation is the right one.
Meaning?
Meaning the mind is one big mystery. Who knows what's going on up there? I'm just saying, before we go to such drastic measures to prove what one person saw, maybe we should consider some other explanations.
he seems to think it was real.
How real?
Real enough. What else matters?
What is it with your family?
Something of herself. Oh yes. An agent wanted to sign her to a record deal. She passed on it for us. She never regretted it though. She always said being a mother was her true call. She would have been very proud of you, Mom. After she died, I didn't listen to music for 15 years. I almost envy your brother for having gotten a chance to see her again. It's been so long.
I think that you can miss someone that you have so few memories of.
She used to sing to you. Do you remember that? Every night, same song. Let's see, how did that go? Those were the days, my friend, we hope they never end. We'd sing and dance forever and
you how I know that.
She's in there somewhere, your mother. The human brain has fascinating capabilities.
You are not what I expected.
What's that?
Everything that I know of you is just a story. It's something that I saw in a picture, or that I read in a science article, or something that someone else had experienced, and in different versions, you were a loner, a kook, a radical. It got to the point where I didn't even think that you were a real person, just this character pieced together by fragments of details, you know? Until you came down here, I had no first-hand knowledge of you whatsoever. So, tell me why. Why did you leave?
You know there's no easy way to explain that this decision that comes both from and is caused by so much pain.
Try.
All that I am, good or bad, was shaped by January 28, 1986.
What is that?
I was a young, intrepid assistant at Mission Control, my first big NASA experience. And then the Challenger exploded. To say that we were all devastated doesn't begin to fully capture how we all felt. But then to find out that we knew about the flawed O-rings beforehand, and we launched anyway.
You knew?
Not me personally, but some at NASA. I wasn't the same after that. It was as if that one realization shook the foundation of everything. I know that's a lousy answer.
That is not an answer at all. That is just psychology.
A science in its own right. What is it you want?
How about the pure and simple truth?
The truth is rarely pure and never simple.
You still had family. What about Mom? Did you not love her? Love us?
I was a broken man. I had no love to give.
Oh, so what? So you didn't feel anything, so you just gave up?
Molly, please.
You about ready, Arthur?
Well, here we are. One big happy family.
Everything okay, Ma?
Yeah, sure. You know what? No. It is not okay. How about all of those years since? Where were you? Did you ever try to reach out? You didn't. Not once. Ever. Did you?
The only thing that made sense to me was the search for answers. I felt compelled to focus solely on that.
Unbelievable.
If you had ever seen anything so terrible happen just once in your lifetime as I have, they needed my help.
So did
I didn't know how!
I! This is one big mistake, you know? Asking you to come down here. This was a giant mistake.
In my experience, Molly, the mistakes don't cause the real problem. It's how we respond in the aftermath.
I was
That's
searching.
what causes lasting damage.
I was searching for answers too. I just wish I hadn't gone searching in the first place. So what, now you're besties?
I think I understand his need to right certain wrongs.
Oh. Yeah, that's right. You didn't get to play the going back in time game like the others, right? So tell me, dear brother, what wrong could you possibly have to right with Mom?
Ma, I really don't want to talk
No,
about this.
it is just the two of us here. You could at least share this with me.
It's nothing dramatic, no grand gesture.
You're trying to go back
back in time. Is there anything grander?
I would want to change the last conversation I had with her. That's all.
What? What, you didn't get to say goodbye? Guess what? Neither did I.
I told her it was her fault. Dad leaving. I told her that she hadn't done enough. That maybe if she had done more, then maybe we'd all still been together. I don't know why I said the things I did. I mean, I was so angry. She was so sick. I mean, I knew she wouldn't fight back, or couldn't. I didn't really think about it until years later. But by then, I had already started looking for better ways to make connections.
The stars? You know, there's something so ironic about a person isolating himself in the most remote place on the planet, yet still searching for connection. Oh, Joe's right. Joe's right. This is one fucked up family. You know what? Why didn't you tell me? About Dad, about any of it.
I was trying to protect you.
When in the history of the world has that ever worked?
I was going to tell you when you got older. It was easier just keeping you away from anyone like her.
Marcus, you are him. You're both searching for this past that you can't get away from, you can't let go of, and now he is going to help you leave? If you ask me, the two of you are perfect together. Really?
She could have made something of herself. Oh yes. There was an agent that wanted to sign her to a record deal. She passed on it. For us. She never regretted it though. She always said being a mother was her true calling. She would have been very proud of you, Molly. After she died, I didn't listen to a piece of music for 15 years. I almost envy your brother, having gotten a chance to see her again. It's been so long.
You think it's possible to miss someone that you have so few memories of?
She used to sing to you, do you remember that? Every night. Same song. Let me see, how did that go? Those were the days, my friend, we hope they never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day.
We live the life we choose, we fight and never lose, for we were young
and sure to have our way.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you how I knew that.
She's in there somewhere, your mother. The human brain has fascinating capabilities.
You are not what I expected.
And what was that?
I mean, everything that I know of you is a story. You know? Something that I
I saw in a picture, or that I read in a science article, or something that someone else experienced. And in different variations, you were a loner, a kook, you were a radical. And it got to the point where I didn't really think of you as a real person, just like this character pieced together by fragments of details. Until you came down here, I had no first-hand knowledge of you whatsoever. So tell me why. Why did you leave?
You know there's no way to really explain everything that goes into a decision that both comes from and is caused by so much pain.
Try.
All that I am, good or bad, was shaped by January 28th, 1986.
What is that?
I was a young, intrepid assistant at Mission Control. My first big NASA experience. And then the Challenger blew up on takeoff. To say that we were all devastated doesn't begin to fully capture how we all felt. But then to find out we knew about the flawed O-rings ahead of time and launched anyway.
You knew?
Not me personally, but some at NASA. I wasn't the same after that. It was as if that one realization just shook the foundation of everything. I know that's a lousy answer.
I mean, that's not an answer at all. That's just psychology.
A science in its own right. What is it you want?
How about the pure and simple truth?
Truth is rarely pure, and it's never simple.
You still had a family. What about Mom? You didn't love her, you didn't love us.
You just can't understand. There is no empirical data regarding love.
I'm not looking for numbers or theories.
I was a broken man. I had no love to give.
What, you didn't feel anything, so you just gave up?
Molly, please.
You not ready, Arthur?
Oh, here we are, one big happy family.
Everything okay, Ma?
Sure. You know what? No. It's not okay. What about all those years since? Where were you? Did you ever look for me? Did you ever try to reach out? Not once, did you?
The only thing that made sense to me was the search for answers.
Sure.
I felt compelled to focus solely on that.
Unbelievable.
If you had ever seen anything go so terribly wrong just once in your lifetime, as I have, wouldn't you do anything you could to ensure that it didn't happen again? They needed my help.
So did I!
I didn't know how!
This is one giant mistake. Asking you to come down here, one huge mistake.
In my experience, it's not the mistakes that cause the real problems, Molly. It's how we respond in the aftermath. That's what causes the lasting damage.
I'm searching for answers too, you know. I just wish I never asked the questions to begin with. So what? Now you're besties?
I think I understand his need to right certain wrongs.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You didn't get to play the going back in time game like the others, right? So tell me, dear brother, what wrongs could you possibly have to right with Mom?
Molly, I really don't want to talk.
No, it is just us here, so you can at least share this with me.
I would want it. It's nothing dramatic. I mean, just no grand gesture, okay?
You're trying to go back in time. Is there anything grander?
I would want to change the last conversation I had with her. That's all.
What? You didn't get to say goodbye? Guess what? Neither did I.
I told her it was her fault. Dad leaving. That she hadn't done enough. That maybe if she had done more, then maybe we'd have all still been together. She died 3 days later. I don't know why I said those things that I did. I mean, I was so angry and she was so sick. I mean, I knew she wouldn't fight back or couldn't. By then I'd already started looking for better ways to make connections.
In the stars?
You know, there is something so ironic about a person isolating himself at the most remote place on the planet, yet still searching for connection. Jill's right. Jill's right. This is one fucked up family. You know what? Why didn't you tell me? About Dad? About any of it?
I was trying to protect you.
When in the history of the world has that ever worked?
I was going to tell you when you got older. It seemed easier keeping you away from anybody like him.
Marcus! You are him! You're both chasing down this past that you can't get away from, you can't let go of, and now he's going to help you leave? If you ask me, the two of you are perfect together!
I don't know what else to do. We've tried everything.
Everything? Hardly. There's always another way.
What exactly are we doing here?
Well, since we don't know the portal's own power source because it's likely,
Crying out loud, say it. L-E-N.
we're trying to generate our own power.
An intergalactic defibrillator, so to speak.
Shock it to life. Makes sense, I guess.
These transmission lines are good, though. We're just still losing too much power.
What if, instead of splitting the lines, we reverse direction and combine them? Create a hybrid of sorts. That could generate more power.
It's an interesting theory. Should we give it a try?
Let's.
Look at you two. It's like fucking Field of Dreams for scientists, man.
You'd think we were trying to prove Fermat's last theorem.
Maybe the core is damaged.
What?
You said all the external connections are fine, yet you've still got a low current. It only makes sense. There must be something wrong on the inside.
Yeah, but I can't pry this thing open. It almost feels like there's something snagged on the inside. I just can't see.
Let me see.
I got it.
Can I at least try?
Do you have X-ray vision?
That's a preposterous notion. Why would you even think that?
Then what are you going to see that I can't? There's got to be another way.
Candling. That'll do the trick.
I don't know that I'm familiar with that term.
Yeah, me either.
I take it now that you grew up on a farm? Look, early farmers didn't want to sell bad eggs to the customers, but you didn't always know there was a problem until you break one open. That's bad for business. So they came up with this contraption, a hollow brass cylinder filled with the light bulb inside it. Then they'd insert the egg into a hole on one side. The light would penetrate the shell and detect blood spots or hairline cracks, thus revealing a bad egg. There's your fracture.
Oh,
Amazing what you can see once you shine a little light into something.
so if we just repaired this one wire here,
And in theory,
all right, guess we'll just see if it works.
Here it goes.
Nothing.
Whoa. It's...
Oh! Yes!
Oh my
all those years, all that research, I never dreamed. You did it, Doctor.
We did it. And now, we're gonna test it.
Just like that.
Why not?
Because we still don't know what it is. That there's far too many unknowns, Marcus.
Oh, we
No,
deal with
you're
the...
moving way too fast, and everyone thinks so.
Oh, is that so? We deal with the unknown on a daily basis, you guys. Make the impossible possible. That's what we do. How is this any
We're
different?
not talking about whether or not it's possible. We're talking about whether or not it's ethical. There are certain scientific principles that you shouldn't mess around with.
She has a point there, Doc. I mean, like, cloning, bad idea. Crossbreeding, potentially worse. And time travel? Well, that can be downright dangerous.
Scientists court danger all the time.
Not on purpose.
Yeah. You know, back in the 1800s, people thought tomatoes were poisonous. Until this guy, Robert Johnson from Salem, ate a whole basket of them just to see what would happen. And guess what? Didn't die.
Salem, not the best arbiter of rational thinking. Just saying.
Anybody? Dad?
Mathematically speaking, she's right. We have no data, no algorithm to even begin to form a useful baseline.
You hear that? So listen to our father.
But we didn't fix it just to let it sit there. We have to see what it does.
Yeah, Doc, but you don't even know if you can control it. Where you'll end up, how long you'll be there.
What happens while you're there?
If you can even get back.
That's a ton of unanswered questions.
Oh. What happens is, I find my mother, I set things right. And we prove, in the process, that time travel is possible. Then, I come back.
If it were only that simple.
It's the city on the edge of forever.
What are you talking about?
Did you just drop a reference to a Star Trek episode?
Shut up, it fits. Besides, the whole Marty McFly, Doc Brown analogy is so overused.
What do you know?
Guys,
Look, the Enterprise gets affected by a time distortion. Kirk goes looking for McCoy, who slipped through a doorway to the past.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, anyway, Kirk falls in love with Joan Collins.
The actress?
Her character, listen!
Right.
Turns out she was supposed to die, but McCoy inadvertently altered the timeline. Now she's going to start a pacifist movement that delays America's entrance into World War II. The Nazis developed the bomb first. Pike, they win the war!
Curtis, it's just a television show!
blasphemy.
What's the point?
Point is, you may have good intentions. You may think you're going to fix something. There are more ways it ends badly than not.
How does the episode end?
Well, Kirk realizes the timeline has to be restored, and he has to let Joan Collins die.
Who am I in this scenario?
You're Kirk.
Kirk! Hear that, Captain Kirk? Not bad.
Marcus, this is serious.
I'm going back, Ma, okay? That's it.
Are we really doing this?
Oh, I should probably get this on video. Marcus, take a beat here, okay? Let's think things through before acting impulsively.
Oh, like you did with your climate data research?
I'm trying to save the planet. You're talking about fantasy, all for something that might have happened.
What was that?
You said so yourself. You don't even know if it was real.
I know what I saw, okay?
You could have been dreaming.
I saw her!
You what?
what I saw. Baker,
Ready when you are, boss.
Curtis, when I say so, engage the release on the portal door.
Copy that.
Marcus, don't.
Molly, I'm going back. And there's nothing that's gonna stop me, okay? Nothing!
Aw, crap. How long has it been?
I don't know, 30 minutes, maybe?
What's taking so long?
Relax. Marcus and Baker will backfeed the summer camp generator, and that should restore some power to the main house, the control room. It's not going to be long.
And when the backup feed dies?
I suspect it's nothing more than frozen glycol in the radiators. Simple enough to deal with despite the delays. Do not fret, dear Joby.
And that is not helping.
You wouldn't be afraid of the dark, now would you?
The dark is the least of our concerns. Trust me. Oh.
See?
Damn it!
A little faith, a little faith.
And my strong suit.
Ah, see?
Oh, good job. Again,
All right, we got it. We're good for now.
And everyone's okay over at the main house, too, thank God.
What was the problem?
I don't know, it's nothing I can tell. Nothing logical.
I told you.
Anyway, maybe a temporary fix, but the generator should buy us some time. So, let's see if we can figure out what went wrong, okay? Baker, do a systems check. Make sure everything's running up, okay? Soon we're back to normal, soon we get back to testing the portal.
Or maybe the blackout was a sign not to go.
Don't.
Uh-oh.
What is it, Baker? You able to boot up?
Yeah, we have power, but the Foundation homepage, I can't believe what I'm reading. It's a news bulletin.
If I won the lottery, tell me now, I could take it.
It says there's an elevated threat warning. The United States and its allies are preparing for an imminent attack. They're scrambling bombers.
Bombers?
All right. Calm down. Baker, what else does it say?
It's kind of short on details, nothing about where or when. That's as of 7 hours ago.
7 hours?
Check another site.
I did. I can't seem to get on any other sites. They're all down.
All of them? Try Amazon. They own the internet.
Dude, check the email archives, okay? Maybe we missed an explanation from HQ in the blackout.
Oh, boss. Last communication.
Marcus? What is it?
It's an instant message from HQ.
Say,
They're coming.
They're coming. Who's coming?
I don't know. It doesn't say. It's incomplete.
I'll reply asking for clarification. No connection.
What the hell is going on?
Isn't it obvious? They've disrupted communications.
Who has? Oh, aliens. You think it's aliens?
Don't you?
Elevated threat level, that sounds more like terrorists.
Whoa. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, okay? We don't know anything yet. Once we're back in the satellite range, we can check it.
Boss, we are in satellite range.
It's begun.
What happened?
Oh, come on. Do you think it's a coincidence that the power got knocked out not long after that telescope started giving us groundbreaking readings? That's too much. They knew we'd find them, see them coming, so zap!
Curtis, that's absurd, okay? It was just a power outage.
Yeah, Marcus is right. Let's stop worrying about what might be out there, okay?
I'm more scared that there's nothing out there.
Now, what are you talking about?
We're a violent race, humans. We blow the shit out of each other. It's what we do. Russians, ISIS, people who don't look like us. It's our solution to everything. Maybe the reason we haven't found proof of intelligent life elsewhere isn't because it never existed in the first place. Maybe all intelligent races hit this same level of advanced technology and extreme violence and they can't get past it. The end.
Oh, no, not you too.
It's possible.
It's possible that you're both fucking nuts, okay? Now, it was a power outage, nothing more.
or
what?
Or it is as I suspected when I first came down here. I'm afraid you all may be asking the wrong question. It's not the who that matters, it's the why. The rest is inconsequential.
Arthur, if you know something.
The existence of your portal has been widely known in certain circles for some time now. But much like you, no one could control when it would appear or have it activated. That's why the telescope was decommissioned in the first place, to secure the secrecy of the portal's existence.
I guess just about anybody would be interested in it.
Our friends and our enemies.
But under the Antarctic Treaty, that wouldn't be possible. No one can lay claim to Antarctica.
Which makes Molly's climate hypothesis all the more critical.
How so?
That treaty is quite clear about a great number of things. A great number of things that existed when it was signed in 1959. What's less certain is the ambiguity in place should there be dramatic changes in the world itself.
Such as?
This ice shelf was originally designated as a kind of international scientific preserve, free from the political machinations of the rest of the world. But should the ice shelf melt away, as some surmise has already begun in haste, the remaining mass would cease to be ice and would become, in effect, open land.
Meaning any country could stake a new claim.
I imagine that would be of interest to any nation, including ours.
I thought you said my research was bogus.
I never said it was bogus, my dear. I said I couldn't support it.
Why not?
Because any country that claims your theory can lay claim to the continent, and
By extension, the portal itself.
I suspect that is what the people you work for are conspiring to do. As with all the ills in this world, it comes down to power. Who has it? How they wield it.
I don't believe it. I was right. For once, I was actually right!
Oh, Curtis, let's not jump to anything, okay? We don't know if any of this is true. More often than not, there's a more reasonable explanation. Conspiracies are the invention of people who can't accept reality for what it sometimes is. Difficult.
Difficult?
JFK!
Oh, do not get me started.
A breathing nation looking for closure during a time of the loss of innocence.
And what about Area 51? The Philadelphia experiment. Princess Diana, Pearl Harbor.
None of which having anything to do with science.
Okay. What about asbestos, huh? For 50 years, the government knew about that before saying anything. History is littered with examples of cover-ups. Watergate, the Gulf of Tonkin, Karen Silkwood. I'm telling you, if there's a chance to subvert the populace, the government will take every measure to do so.
Yeah, and for every scandal that actually happened, there's 3 times the number of Paul is dead hoaxes. How'd that turn out?
I'm not talking about a promotional campaign. This is more sinister, systematic. Take fluoridation. We'll introduce it on the premise of cleaner water, when we're really going to brainwash the people to be a more compliant population!
Curtis is being ridiculous! Can you shut him up?
Disease! You think we didn't know anything about Ebola or shit like that? Please, I saw Outbreak. It was amazing. I'm telling you, there is a cure for cancer sitting in a vial somewhere in a secret lab right now. We'll never see that in our lifetime. You may be able to resign yourself to the hypocrisies of life, but I am no longer willing to close my eyes or anesthetize my soul to that steaming load of cattle waste anymore!
Oh, you had to get him all wound up. Molly, can you please shut him up?
It's all very entertaining, but what in the name of Oliver Stone does this have to do with any of this?
Oh. Ever hear of the hollow earth theory? It's a concept proposing that the earth is completely hollow, with entryways at the poles for beings to come and go as they please.
Yeah, a concept that has been dismissed scientifically.
Yeah, maybe, just maybe, the portal was that entryway.
And I'm assuming this theory accounts for the lost land of Atlantis as well, right? It's inside the earth?
Actually,
no, he has a point.
Really?
Not about Atlantis. Sometimes when there's a whole lot of crazy piling up, only a crazy explanation will do.
You've been kept in the dark for far too long, Doc.
What's that?
Incoming Skype call? Tile Elementary. The conference call that 5th grade science class.
Hello?
Baker, mute that.
Oh god.
Does this mean we've restored communication?
I'm not getting a signal anywhere else.
Okay, so how did they get through? They don't know about the threat.
The government would have seen to that, in theory.
We don't know if the threat is real. If we say there's a threat when there isn't one, we're gonna sound like we're insane, but If there is one, then...
You just scare the shit out of some 10-year-olds before the world ends.
Dr. Pike? Is anyone there?
What do we do? What do we do, Marcus? No matter what we disagree on, it has to stay that way. They just cannot know.
Right. Everyone, watch what you say. Hello, and welcome from the Great White Desert.
Yes. Gather round, children. Is the connection all right, Doctor? Can you hear us okay?
You sound glorious. I hope everyone's behaving back home.
Of course we are. Jimmy, put that finger away. Yes, well, we've been anxiously awaiting this call, Dr. Pike. The class has spent much of the week thinking up all sorts of questions to ask you and your team there. Between you and me, I think we have some budding scientists in the classroom.
Yes, well, unfortunately, Mrs. Lynn, we've sort of stumbled onto something here. Our satellite signal may not hold out long enough for us to do a full session like we had hoped. I'm sorry about that, kids.
Perhaps just a question or two.
Shoot.
Now, who wants to go first? How about you, George?
Yeah, this is George. George Balassac. Some of us were wondering, what happens to all the poop down there when you go to the bathroom?
George!
That's what you want to know?
I got this. Georgie! Okay, so it's like this, dude. You know, up there in the States, when you go to the bathroom, you flush the toilet and it goes into the sewer and then off to the treatment plant? Yeah. So, we don't have any of that down here in Antarctica. Our waste is pumped down an ice hole where it's frozen and buried for all eternity. We call them turdsicles. Yeah, I know, kids. It's hilarious. Unless, of course, global warming is real, then they're going to find one dirty iceberg down there. So, to sum up, be good to the environment up there and stay in school.
Okay, Mrs. Lynn, you got one more.
Of course. Who had that other, go ahead. Teresa, introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Teresa Morgan. You're all so far away in a place most of us will never be in our lifetimes. What's the most remarkable thing you've seen down there?
It's a great question, Teresa. There's so much to see here on a daily basis. Whether it's Mount Erebus, which is an ice-white volcano constantly rumbling, or the Aurora Australis, a series of lights much like the Aurora Borealis, which you may have heard of. But I gotta tell you, I've been down here almost 5 years now, and the most amazing thing I've seen is you. All you kids, knowing that you're back home, learning and working hard to make this world a better place. It's, yeah. Anyway, Mrs. Lynn, I'm sorry. That's all the time we have. I hope you understand.
Of course we understand. The kids were so looking forward to this. So, thank you again for keeping the appointment, Doctor. And we'll continue to follow the station blog to stay on top of all the developments down there.
For God's sake, look after our people. Jill, you're ex-military. If we really were mobilizing our forces,
It takes some time to put a contingency plan in place to combat the threat.
how much time are we talking?
3 hours, maybe 4.
Shit. Even Jack Bauer had 24 hours.
Arthur, is there a way destroy the portal. I mean, if the portal goes away, then the threat goes away, right?
I spent so much time trying to activate it, I never thought about disabling it. I'm not sure how we would.
Base is powered by jet fuel. Blow it to pieces, that'll work.
Guys, ice, explosion. Not a good combination, I'm thinking.
It's not that simple. Because the portal originated in another dimension, the true source of its energy comes from the other side.
So, what, we'd have to go through to the other side then?
We disrupt the power at its source, it could seal the main entryway, or possibly cause the portal to collapse in on itself.
Meaning, nothing can come back through there then, except us, of course. I like it. How do we do that?
We don't.
Oh, shit.
What? What does that mean?
It means whoever goes to seal the portal can't make it back. I realize that's not ideal, but...
Ideal? That is insane. That is beyond insane.
I'll do it.
Are you sure about that, boss?
I was gonna go anyway.
Right.
I'll go.
What are you thinking? Are you insane? Dad, tell him he cannot go. No, you cannot go.
I have to do this, Molly.
Marcus, I am begging you to just consider what you're doing.
I have considered this,
I know that
okay?
you want to go see her, but
This isn't about
think
Mom,
about
okay?
what that would mean.
I
okay?
know what it
Think about
means!
Your family, Zoe, your kids, Lucas, Jenna. Don't do to them what happened to us.
Molly, I know what it means if I go. I also know what it means if I don't.
There's got to be another way. Baker, get HQ on the SATCOM, okay? You're not going through there.
No, I am.
I have grandchildren.
We still have no connection.
Look, if we really are under attack, they'll have gone radio silent. You're not gonna get through to anybody.
Curtis, help me.
It should be me. I should be the one for so many reasons.
No, fine, I will.
No.
Oh, hell. I know I should say I want to go, even though I sure as shit don't. But I'll do it. If you want me to, that is.
No, this is not up for discussion, okay? We are not debating this. I can't ask anyone to do what I would be willing to do myself.
That is a terrible reason.
I said no debate!
Marty Temple.
What?
I believe proper protocol dictates that no one go anywhere around here alone.
No.
So you take someone with you.
Arthur, that is not how it works.
No, you've all made it very clear that that's exactly the way it works. So we choose straws. But since we have no straws in this godforsaken place, the broken pencil punches his or her ticket to another dimension.
Oh, thank God.
Well, it's settled then.
No.
Molly, it'll be all right.
I cannot lose both of you.
This is not what you want to hear right now. But in time you'll recognize things will play themselves out the only way they possibly can. And that's all for the best, my dear girl.
I just got you back in my life.
I've never given you any reason to trust the word I say, but trust me now. We will find our way back to you.
Let her go. Baker, chill. We have no idea what to expect on the other side, so it might be a good idea to have some provisions. Basic, but useful. Curtis, you're going to need a procedure of collapsing that portal, okay? Use Arthur's journal as a guide. I know it's going to be mostly guesswork, but just do the best you can, all right? We're on the clock on this one.
Obviously. Let me go math this shit out.
She'll get over it, eventually.
Now there, you're wrong. She won't get over it. She's too much like her mother.
This is your segue into trying to talk me out of going.
I have no intention of doing such a thing. Mark Twain said that the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Perhaps today is that day.
The idea to have some provisions. Basic, but useful. Curtis, we're going to need a procedure for collapsing that portal, okay? Use Arthur's journal as a guide. I know it might be guesswork, but just do the best you can. On the clock on this one.
Obviously. Let me go math this shit out.
She'll get over it eventually.
Now there, you're wrong. She won't get over it. She's too much like her mother.
This is your segue into trying to talk me out of going.
I have no intention of doing such a thing. Mark Twain said the two most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you find out why. Perhaps today is that day.
Why didn't you stop?
Where's Molly?
I told you, being questioned. Just like you, just like everyone.
Can I see her?
Soon enough. She's safe, if that's what you're worried about.
It's not that, it's just... I didn't get a chance to tell her we should take a break.
Now, when you're so close to the end?
It's not about where we ended up, it's about how we got there.
I'd say it's a little bit about where you ended up. Wouldn't you agree? At least for Dr. Pike and Professor Sawyer.
Well, it's not like they can do anything about that now, can they?
Dr. Pearson, please. Continue.
Wait for the book to come out, I'll send you a copy.
Autographed?
I'm forgetting details, confusing things.
No, you're doing fine. And you tell it so well. I mean, I know how it ends, but it's still compelling.
You don't know.
I kind of do.
You don't know anything!
Alright, let me tell you what I do know, and you fill in the rest. How about that? So, things are beyond tense. Fair enough? But while you were drawing up a procedure, Pike and Sawyer were facing down some demons of their own.
When I was
Rebecca, I need your help. I don't know how to do this.
Are you praying?
I'm afraid it's been so long I've forgotten how. But you must remember.
Never took me to church.
I dropped you off at Sunday school. Close enough.
Since when do you believe in God?
I don't. I've spent a lifetime believing in mathematical theorems and scientific principles. There's a certainty to them that I find comforting.
So why the conversion?
The immutable laws of science say what's happening in that room shouldn't be possible. Yet it's happening nonetheless, and I can't explain it. What better time is there?
Dear God, surely we are at a crossroads here, where faith and science have converged. There are so many things that we could ask for right now, but please, give us some assurance that we're doing the right thing. Amen.
Are we doing the right thing? In our zeal to do the right thing? Are we overreaching?
There is no such thing as overreaching when it comes to science. You either stand aside or forge ahead. Progress waits for no man. You wrote that. Science is learning.
This is what I have learned. You cannot go back. You cannot. I've spent the better part of 30 years trying to do just that, to no avail.
Arthur, there was nothing you could have done about the space shuttle. We've established that. Rehashing it now does no
I'm
good.
speaking about leaving your mother, you and Molly. It is the only wound that matters. It has never healed. Time be damned.
I didn't cry when Mom died. Not a single tear.
I cried a river. Enough for the both of us.
What's that say about me?
Nothing of importance. It is easier to skin an amoeba than it is to resolve the sins of the past.
Did you tell her that you were leaving?
One must recognize his own limitations. If I had looked at any of you before I left, I never would have made it out the door. But as shattered as I was, I knew I had to. You're worried about Zoe and the children, how they will take it.
What they'll think of me. I need them to know why, Arthur.
They will know, son. They will know.
You ready?
I believe so.
Good.
What will you say to her if you see her?
I'm sorry. She knew she was sick. She tried telling me, more than once. I didn't want to hear it. I buried myself at work and ignored her until I said what I should have listened to her.
I'll see you over there.
Alright, let's see. Compass, extra change of clothes, first aid kit. What else could they possibly need?
How about a weapon? What? We don't know what it's gonna be like when they're going.
Fine. Thanks. Alright, something else. What else could they possibly need? Something to make a fire or what else?
Money?
cash? We don't need money down here.
I think my girlfriend was stealing from me, so I brought all my cash with me when I came down here. Wait,
What?
what are we doing? Does anyone actually believe Pike saw his mom? I don't. Molly doesn't. Curtis?
I don't know that it matters anymore.
Maybe it should. It's a fool's errand if you ask me.
No one did.
How we doing?
All set, Doc. Once you're through the other side, just press this button. That'll release a charge, and if the professor's right, it should collapse the portal from that end. And then,
And we're on our own.
good luck.
Look back here. Listen, everyone. There's a lot to say here, and not a lot of time to say it, so let's just keep it.
Outrider Morse, Outrider Morse, come in, Morse.
This is McNichol Station.
Morse moose!
Smitty, you son of a gun! What the hell?
Feedback, Doc. Get your people ready. I'm landing in 5. Over and out.
What emergency? Smitty!
Emergency evacuation, but none of us is sick. There's no reason for a rescue mission in the pitch dark
Unless one of us was right.
He's
Or
not.
there could be a perfectly reasonable explanation for this, and then we don't have to go through the portal after all.
No, he's not to be trusted.
This is Smitty.
It's highly likely that his superiors have discovered that we know about the portal, perhaps even what we're planning to do. They'd stop at nothing to stop us from succeeding. It's just the next move in their power play.
It's Smitty!
Commander Smith may be a good soldier, but that only means he'll follow orders.
This is insane.
There's no turning back now, son. You have to talk to him. Tell him to turn around. Make him understand. Surely he'll believe it if it comes directly from you.
All right, hang tight. We leave as soon as I get back, all right?
Marcus, would it be so bad not to go?
Let me just go and talk to him, okay? I just want to see what he has to say. There's no harm in that, okay? Jill?
Pack supplies, one for each of you. I think we thought of everything, but who the hell knows?
Thank you, Baker.
Her name, you remember?
Damn it.
What's wrong?
I forgot my journal. Research in there could prove useful on the other side. I suppose I could go trek back across that barren. Unless, Molly, would you be so kind?
Of course.
I believe you'll find it on the desk in the control room. If Joby's mess hasn't overtaken things.
Sorry, it was a cleaning lady's day off.
Thank you.
And then there were two,
Remember the first time we met? How I told you there may come a day when I would need your help?
I guess so.
That time has come.
What do you need? You mean you...
It's the only thing that makes sense. For everyone.
Oh, I don't know.
You know it's true.
Oh, shit. They won't understand.
It's imperative they listen to a voice of reason. Be that voice. Curtis.
It's Joby.
Do me a favor. Tell Monty we're even.
Smitty, you didn't see like a crack in the other side of the base or something?
How should I know? All they said is you were in danger.
Yeah, but you didn't see anything?
Look, there's 24 hours a night out there. I had to do a dark landing. You know how difficult that is? They said come get you, and that's what I'm doing.
And you didn't ask any questions?
I don't ask questions. I just... What the hell is that thing?
Curtis, no! What are you doing? Get out of
broken.
What? Now's not the time to play hero.
Who are you?
I'm the pilot.
Commander Smith, would you be so kind as to escort my
What is this?
son to the
What happened?
transport? Get them all out of here.
He's right, Doc. We gotta get you guys
No,
on
I
the
can't
boat.
just leave him here,
Think
okay?
of the others. Think of your sister.
He's right. If we don't leave now, the ski's gonna freeze to the ice, and then nobody gets out of here.
All right, go. Get them all on board, okay?
Well, what about you?
Well, I'm right behind you.
Okay.
I don't think I could have stayed much longer anyway, son. The cold. I don't know how you stand it.
Well, then come out of there and we'll take you someplace warm. Anywhere you want to go. Then we'll have more time together.
No. This is perfect. You've given me all the time I've so desperately needed. An axe to the frozen sea within me.
Sometimes I swear I have no idea what you're talking about. All I ever wanted was a normal father-son talk.
How are we doing?
Doc.
Tell me why.
Life isn't about finding the right answers. It's about asking the right questions.
Am I ever going to see you again?
In theory,
Dad. This is the last place on earth I thought I'd find you.
I couldn't find your journal. No, 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 no!
Doc, we gotta go now! Gotta go, Mom.
Put down your things and
Now that is one for the books, Dr. Pearson. Truly remarkable.
Well, I tried. So tell me, what was the elevator threat warning?
2 words.
Don't you say it. Don't you motherfucking say it.
Fake news. An audacious hacker trying to make a name for himself.
And, they're coming? What was that bullshit?
Just us. We lost communication with your station and your station alone. All the other bases in Antarctica were still transmitting. It sounds like our attempt to explain got truncated somehow. There were no terrorists, no Russians, no little green men. Just us.
Director Montgomery, I have the team's personal items.
It was all for nothing. All of it. Jesus.
On face value, we could probably write this off as a team of scientists who maybe got a little paranoid when some seemingly unexplained events started happening around them.
On face value?
Well, there's one major problem with what you've told me.
What's that?
We have no record of an Arthur Sawyer ever existing.
What? How is that even possible?
I don't know. You tell me.
But he was there. I saw him every day for months.
So you say.
What, you think I'm making him up? Why would I do that?
By your own admission, you are a master storyteller.
I never said that. You did. Oh, I see what's going on here. You erased him.
Doctor.
So no one knows about his research. Keep it all to yourself. Yeah, sure, you scrubbed his name from the science magazines, all the archives.
Nothing
Oh,
of
that's
the kind.
impressive. I know you boys have long arms, but that is something.
Not everything is a conspiracy. Look, each member of your team gave a testimony that virtually matches yours.
Well, there you go.
Which only caused their veracity into further question. No discrepancies whatsoever in how you remember things playing out. Conversations you had. Not a single variation in the details. It almost seemed rehearsed.
What happened there? You just don't forget.
Yes, so each of you proclaimed. Look, the fact remains you cannot provide a shred of evidence for anything that you've told me. There is no Professor Sawyer.
He went through the portal.
There's no portal.
He destroyed it.
And there's no journal.
He took it with him.
by the same token, we can't prove that any of it didn't happen either. Clearly something went on down there.
So what happens now? When can we go back?
You're not going back. No. A new team will be assigned to McNichol Station, one better suited to its peculiar conditions. Your work down there is done. This file and all within gets cataloged in the Unexplained Incidents Department. Congratulations, Doctor. This is the culmination of your career. You got what you always wanted. To be part of one of America's great conspiracy theories. You're free to go. All of you.
What the fuck, Mom?
I don't know.
Mom, I'm so sorry. I was the one who...
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Did I help you? Guys.
Hey,
Oh my
hey,
God.
What's chill. Hey, careful with that. Well, Campbell, looks like my answers were good enough after all.
I never believed your story. Not a word of it. And neither does anyone else.
He wasn't wrong, was he? My father.
So long, Dr. Pike.
You called me Dr. Sawyer.
Still convinced that it was real?
I don't know. I thought it was. Maybe I never really saw her. But it was nice to think I had. You okay?
Well, he left. Again. So I'm gonna need a lot of therapy.
Well, look at it this way. For the briefest of moments, you brought the family together again. It was your letter that brought them down there.
I guess.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If what they're saying is accurate, that your father doesn't exist, then by rights, now it's you, right?
But we're here, Curtis, so.
It defies all logic.
Logic? Seriously? What do we do now, boss?
I'm gonna sleep for a week. I'm gonna wake up, have a monster steak. I'm gonna sleep for another month.
I want breakfast. But like real breakfast.
Screw breakfast, I want a drink, nothing powdered.
Great. You're buying.
What?
You're the one with the cash on you. Wait a minute. What if their mom married someone else, but still had them?
Yeah, but then they'd be different. Do you feel different?
I don't know. Marcus?
Holy shit.
Oh, I just got chills.
It could be a fake. That would be just like them.
Curtis. Where does this leave us?
Right where we're supposed to be.